Good evening everybody, my name is Crystal. If you like my videos, please smash that like button, please do subscribe. It's Thursday evening, it's Thursday the 16th of May and I'm home in my flat by myself, and thankfully the day hasn't been too bad. I'm keeping my chin up, so to speak, even though it's been tough today. Siri, what's the time, please?
It's 8:45 p.m.
So it's now 9:45 in the evening. So we're going to recap what's gone on through the day. I got up this morning. I did not go to the co-op. Kim is a blonde lady that works in there. She's an older blonde lady in her 50s. So I didn't go to the co-op. The cleaners came into the building. So one of the cleaners is a blonde lady. One of the cleaners is a black-haired guy with a beard. They came into the building and cleaned the flats. And after the cleaners had gone, I'd walked Max in the morning. And I walked Max back and I rested for about 10 minutes. And then I went out to the library to return 7 library books that I'd had for a couple of months, because you can renew them online. So you can renew them up to 4 times as long as nobody has reserved the book that you've got. So they were due back on Monday, but I thought, fuck it. I've got to go and get my electric, I've got to get my gas, I'll kill 2 birds with 1 stone, and I'll take my books back to the library. Now, I didn't tell anyone I was going to the library. I never said a word. So they couldn't have known that I was going to the library. So I went downstairs, walked up Corey's Road underneath the railway bridge, and the Trans T-R-A-N-S-A-R-C coach was there, white coach. One of my sons was a bus driver, and he drove buses and coaches. So one of my sons was a bus driver, and I can't drive a car, let alone a bus. So there was these young people getting out of the Trans-Arc coach, and they went off, and I found the traffic frightening. I don't know if anybody else does these days, but long vehicles are driving really, really fast. And I was walking down the road in the rain, and when you've got people walking on the pavements, obviously you let them pass, and when you walk near to the curb, you can feel the vibrations of the bus and the lorries, and some of these vehicles were coming really, really fast. And there's not much room if there's an accident, is there? Not much room to manoeuvre. And I carried on walking, and I walked past the bus stop, and I got into the library, and usual staff, some of them are stuck up towards me. I'm just being honest, there's no point lying. Some of them are stuck up. they're older women that are stuck up. I would imagine I could be older than some of those women, but some of them come across as stuck up and they don't really want to serve me. Like there's a bad smell under their nose. And some of them hide it and some of them can't. So when I first walked into the library, the female assistant ticked my books off, and I walked into where the books are, because there's a computer area, and I don't use the computers anymore. I used to use the computers in the library. I don't use them anymore because I've got Wi-Fi in my flat and I feel safer in my flat than going out and sitting in the library for 2 or 3 hours with strange men sat next to me. So I don't use the computers anymore. I used to sit in the library nearly all day in Chatham, on and off, just to get out of my flat. And I used to put up with some of the most irritating, annoying things going on in there. So I don't have that anymore. So once every so often I just return my books and get some more. So walked into where the majority of the books were, and there is this group learning French, and there was this guy that sounded like Bill Nye, and I used to say that the guy that I went out with called Graham sounded and looked like Bill Nye. So he was laughing like Bill Nye, the actor, and then he would have this laugh like Graham, the guy I used to go out with. There was this blonde woman sat there. She was very pretty. Like I said, I hadn't gone into the co-op. I hadn't spoken to Kim because the last time I went in there, she blanked me and just made out she didn't know who I was. So I felt very, very... I held it together. I didn't get cross, didn't get upset, didn't do anything silly. I just choose my books, and then I took the books that I'd chosen back to the lady that had checked my books in, and she was completely different attitude. She was rude to me. Completely different attitude from when I walked in. When I walked out, it was like, oh, I don't really want to do this. And she didn't even acknowledge or say thank you. So I don't know what happened between me going in and coming out, but her attitude was totally different towards me. Went out of the library. There was a guy sat on the wall outside opposite the library. I just walked past him, walked into Eastgate Gardens, and I just called off because I was upset. I wanted to. Sometimes you want to sit in the library and maybe have a read of a book. I can't do that because of the noise that was in there. And it's not the first time that's happened either. So I walked into the high street, and I have to put my gas and electric card on with the key in the card. That's British Gas for you. If it was a smart meter, I could top it up online on my phone, but I can't, so I have to keep going out every few days to top up my gas and electric. So I walked right down Rochester High Street to the usual shop. The guy that served me in there was okay, and then I came out, walked up the high streets. But to me it's like dangerous. These dangerous things coming towards you, people walking on the pavement with great big dogs. And at one point, right, I thought, I don't know what I'm going to do. Because I was walking on the pavement, there was a guy coming towards me with a massive Labrador. There was a car half off and half on the pavement. There was someone in that car starting the engine. And there was a car coming down the middle of the road. So I had to walk past this great big hairy Labrador. Some people are allergic to dogs, they are. So I had no choice. Otherwise I would have got run over. We're not all beautiful, all of us. Some of the people walking down the road were quite scary and intimidating, right? And I just held my head up and I carried on walking and I persevered and carried on. And I went into Mr. Flower, which is the flower shop, and I got some flowers in there and used my card, Mr. Flower. They're nice in there. It's a family run company and they're really, really nice staff in Mr. Flower in Rochester High Street. Love it, lovely shop. I'd gone into Bernardo's and I'd got some clothes and the lady that served me was really nice in there. A couple of girls came into Bernardo's giggling. One woman was in a wheelchair with pink hair. She was in a wheelchair being pushed by somebody and they were giggling and laughing in Bernardo's. But I persevered and stayed in Bernardo's and I got what I wanted because they had some vest tops for £1 each. £1. I went into the Red Cross and got some items from Zara that were Zara products. There's a Zara store in Bluewater in Greenhithe and I've been to Zara in Bluewater. I was taken there to Zara, the shop, which is expensive, and they were selling, lipstick and a perfume for £4, which I bought, and a pair of sunglasses, and I got those. And the woman in the Red Cross shop was very patronising. So I found her rude, but I'd never said a word. She was looking at me as if I was a thief and younger than I was. So she took the product out of my hand. I actually bought the product she took out of my hand. I bought it just to prove a point. I picked up this lipstick, cum perfume, and I started opening it. And she went, yes, you can open that, you can open it. And then she took it out and then she put it back in and she put it on the shelf. And then I started looking at other things around the shop and she was beading me, looking at me. And I bought 4 products in total for nearly £20. And I thought, condescending and patronising. And I didn't get cross, I just bought the product she put back on the shelf, so that wasted her time, didn't it? That wasted her time. Picking it up and then putting it back in and putting it on the shelf. They don't own the shop, They don't they don't own everywhere I walk and whatever I touch. Really. So I didn't get cross when I was spoken to like that. I went into the Rochester Cathedral just to light some candles for my dad, my brother and my sister. And I took a few photographs in there. And I finished off with getting the plants and I got a handbag, the Bendelisi bag in the Red Cross shop. And I went into a newsagent's to get the Daily Mail and some food to eat. And I wanted some coffee, but they didn't have the coffee that I wanted. I've got to go to the doctor's tomorrow, so I'll see if I can get some coffee. They didn't have the coffee. they're not selling the coffee that I like anymore. They're getting rid of it. So all the coffee they've got is the coffee that's really strong and gives me heartburn. So I like the caramel latte. They don't do that anymore. There was another one I kept buying. They stopped doing that. And every time I put something on YouTube, it usually disappears. So I don't know who this is doing this to me and why. And everything I touch is like, honestly, they spray it afterwards. Like my hands, my hands ain't good enough. They're dirty. That's happened for a long time. I just get on with it. I mean, this has been going on since I was a kid, a baby, a child. I don't know what the fuck it is, but I have to live in a world that, like, you know, I don't know what it is. It's so ridiculous. It makes me laugh. I'm the victim and I'm being treated like I'm a piece of shit, and that really, really does make me angry, but there's nothing I can do about it, is there? So I came back home. The guy upstairs came in. I took Max out for a walk this afternoon. He came back in his black car, parked it outside mine. When I come back from the field, his car was parked outside where I live, upstairs, his black car. And then it really started to turn nasty. Because obviously it's been very, very quiet, which is good. But sometimes when it's dead quiet, you can feel really lonely. Like there's nobody there, when you don't hear anything at all. Can't explain it, but I do. So I put the radio on, I put LBC radio on, and it was talking about bikes being dangerous and should be held accountable. Bicyclists that are reckless and harm pedestrians should be held accountable, just like car drivers. So I went out about just after 7 p.m. He was in upstairs. I mention it because, you know, he's got a black car now. I was taken the piss out of, I believe, for nearly 3 or 4 years. Because of my name, which is it's not foreign, it's white British. My mum made it up. And I've had on and off like trouble, and it's died down now, but I don't know if someone's holding a grudge. But I don't, I've just got on with my life. I can't be bothered with it anymore. So it goes outside and it goes onto the field with Max. I'm already feeling a bit shitty from how I've been treated by staff in the library, certain staff in some shops, and some general people. And goes onto the field. There's a woman coming towards me with long black hair. Charlie's girlfriend has long black hair, but she's big and large, and she's got grey bits in her hair. So there's this really attractive young lady coming towards me with long black hair in a ponytail, in shorts and a black t-shirt, like I was wearing on a TikTok video the other day. On the bench that she walked past was a guy on his mobile with a black hoodie over his head. So I walked around the field, and then this hairy mutt dog, brown mixed with grey, hairy mutt, came bounding towards me and Max, and I just carried on walking, and I wanted to watch the boat that was going into to dock. I managed to get round the field, and when I almost got off the field, there was this lunatic guy with brown hair getting onto a bicycle at full speed with a plastic co-op hanging out of his back pocket, and it was blowing in the wind like a balloon. He had a white dog like Charlie's dog, Samir, and the dog was running around after him. So he didn't have the dog on the lead, because that would have been dangerous. If he'd have been riding his bicycle with a dog on the lead at a fast speed, he would have hurt the dog, wouldn't he? So he was riding around the field like a maniac on a bicycle with his dog loose. And this plastic bag was flying out of his backside pocket like a balloon, like a parachute coming out of his backside. And I couldn't believe it, because I get people telling me off for restraining my dog, yeah, because I'm frightened he's gonna go in the road and get run over. And this geezer's cycling fast around a dog walking area with a plastic bag blowing out of his back pocket, and his dog's having to keep up with him. And then I comes off the field, and the guy that owns it, all to do with that Charlie look, because that guy with the dog Luna, which is short for lunatic, used to hang around when Charlie was on the field. He used to be there with that black dog called Lunatic. So it's all tied in with each other. Charlie's girlfriend has got long black hair, and it goes right down there, but she's got grey bits in it, and she's extra large. So trying to find out who's responsible for stalking and harassing me, and I'm getting the gist of where it could be coming from as well. I don't like being toyed with. I'm not a sex toy. And because I had the guts to say no and report it to the police, because I didn't want it to happen to anybody else. He was actually going up to women that were very young, that Charlie was, and taking them back to his girlfriend. I don't know what sort of games they were playing, but I didn't want to get involved in it. So I came back into my flat, dogs barking outside, and I haven't heard from my mum. My mother hasn't phoned me since 9 o'clock this morning. So she hasn't phoned this afternoon, and she hasn't phoned this evening. But we've got a guy riding around on a bicycle with a plastic bag flying out of his jeans back pocket on a bicycle, because my mum sticks things out of her back pocket, and somebody popped a can in the library. So they've started doing that again as well, popping cans to frighten. It's not me that was in hospital in 1993, it was my mum. So they just keep doing things to cover things up. It's ridiculous. I cannot find a decent boyfriend on a dating site because they're pretending that I'm mutton. I'm an 80-year-old lady with a plastic face. Someone called me mutton, and the only makeup that I wear is a little bit of lipstick on my lips. And what's wrong with that? This is my skin. It doesn't peel off. It's ridiculous. So what? Madonna goes on stage, doesn't she? She's got a younger boyfriend. She's 70 and she's got a boyfriend a lot younger than she is. So what the fuck are people pissing me off for and saying things about me? Don't get it. Well guys, I've got the doctors tomorrow and I hope everybody has a great evening. See you later.